Welcome to the overview of Zoho People 5.0. In this video, we will explore the modules and features in Zoho People 5.0. Zoho People is a employee management HRMS tool of Zoho, which covers and maps the employee journey in an organization, starting from when the employee joins an organization and uh, covering major activities like the leave management, attendance management of an employee, the time tracking of the employee, and managing the appraisals also is as well as the help desk, HR help desk, all the key features and all the main activities and the main modules and feature which is required for the employee management in an organization is all there in Zoho People 5.0. So we will see in this video, we will see all those features and modules very closely. So starting from when you log into your Zoho People, you have this first landing page, which is known as the home page here, and it is divided into My Space, Team Space, and Organization. So first page is your My Space look and feel, where you can see that you have the space wherein to manage your own data. You have your own check-in and check-out options here, which you can manage. Also, you have your reportees details here with check-in and check-out details as well as the weekend information here. And in the middle screen, you can see the activities, feeds, profile. All these tabs are here, which from which you can manage certain activities, main activities in Zoho People as an employee. So if in the activities tab, you can see all the main activities which are there, which includes your general shift schedule or work schedule in the organization, which covers which shift you belong to. For example, in this case, you have a general shift, so you have a present, a present shift which is defined here with the weekend. So if any holidays are falling in between, it will also be shown. You can also see your upcoming holidays as well as all your pending jobs which are there. So all the major main activities which the system will remind you will come under the activities. In the feeds tab, you have the internal collaboration. So in the feeds tab, you can use for the internal connect with your colleagues and employees in an organizations. So you can type in your message here, the title here, and you can see all the collaborations and messages exchanged between the other team members of the employees. Apart from that, you can also see the other statuses of the leaves or of the different pending activities or approval statuses also here, and different activities which is pending or completed, and all the statuses for different modules in Zoho People you can see there in this particular part feed section. You have the announcements also. You can always see the current announcements which have been made by the organization. You can always click on this and check all the announcements here in this particular feed section also. In the profile section, you will see your own profiles details here, which covers the location, department, your shifts, your email IDs, your organization structure, which you have, your skill sets, which is configured in the system, which is pertaining to the performance module, and it is used for an employee potentials measurement uh, in an applications. And you also have the basic info, work informations, also salary information, personal and bank informations, and different other informations which is there for an employee in an applications. You can also manage your approvals here. Approvals, which basically which you supposed to approve as an reporting manager or an admin. So you have approvals all across Zoho People. It may consider, it will have may have the attendance regulation approvals, leave approval, timesheet approval. So all approvals you can manage from here, from this approvals tab. And you have the leave option also, where you can also, it will show you all the leaves which are available to you as an employee and how many leaves you have already taken. You can also apply the leaves from this particular tab also. So all the leaves which is defined as per the organization structure or policies will be mentioned here, and you can always apply the leaves from here. In the attendance tab, it will show you all your current attendance, your um, attendance for the current week, and it will also show the weekends and any holidays or leaves which you applied for. You have the time logs wherein you can also uh, log your time for a for a particular day from the time logs, and then you can always convert that time log to time sheets for the approvals from your reporting managers. There are different other features which are there and other modules which are there related to your jobs, which is there in the time logs, and you can always have, when you click on the jobs, you can have all the jobs which is there pending for you in progress, and for which you can log your time logs here. You have the files modules also, where you can have all the files which has been shared by the organization to you. You can always look at it and download if the permissions is granted. So it may cover all your organization policies and other different uh, file which is related to you. Right, you can have a look at your KRAs versus goals, which is pertaining to the PMS module or the performance management systems. So you have a handy look and a clear look of all your KRAs and goals in this particular tab also. Apart from that, also you have the team space. The team space is a space wherein you have all your team members details listed over here. So this is a common area where you can see your team availability informations and the location diversity also here. You have a departmental wall which is common to you and the team members, and you can see the departmental announcements here, and you can also post the message to your entire department members also. If you are an admin or a reporting manager, you can do that from here. You can always look at the groups. You can always communicate with the groups from here, all the groups which has been configured in the systems. You can always look the surveys which is released by by the organization from time to time. So you can always have your surveys attend your surveys from this particular options also. Here you can see you have the work anniversary, new hires, birthday buddy. So you have your information about your work anniversary, who have the employee information, who have completed 1 year in our organizations. You can also look at the new hires information for the last 15 days. The birthday buddy means the employees who have the birthday on a particular date will always automatically sit here. And the departmental files and all the courses which you have been nominated for. You have the reportees tab also, where it will show all your direct as well as indirect reportees. So you here you can always uh, see the information about your reportees. Like if you click on one of your the reportees here, it will show the reportee's profile, departments, his leave, attendance, information, so time logs, time sheets, and all the related data for your reportees also, in the same way as you look for your profiles. So here you have a Teams module in which you have a reportees informations. You can always go for a department information also, which department. So if you're an admin, you can always have the you can always select the departments from here, and you can see the departments informations for all the locations here as an admin also. You have the projects tab also. The projects tab is basically all the projects which has been there for the team, which has been listed in for your team. The team members are working here. So in this particular part, the projects which for which your team is supposed to work on, that will be listed. The details of this project will be listed here. You can communicate with your team members for any kind of a project conversations if you want to have. You have the project performance tab also, where you can see the project performance of the projects, and how much time has been logged, and what is the performance of the project, how many users are there in this particular projects involved in this particular projects, how many billed and non-billable hours, what are the logged and estimated hours here. You can see all the users who has been assigned to this particular projects also. So you can also manage the projects within Zoho People also, when the people are blocking their time for a particular project. So you have a chance to visit to check that particular projects for with respect to the project performance and communicate accordingly. You have the team list. So if you are an admin or you are a reporting manager, you can see your reporting managers or a team list in this particular tab. So it will contains all the basic informations of the employee, starting from the first name, last name, and other basic informations, department information, their date of joining, and the reporting manager information, their birth details, and everything in a one particular window. So this is a very important window here where you can see all your team list information. Then you have the ex-employees information. So employees who have already exited the company and the information you want to look at it, all the direct and indirect employees who have exited the information. So you can always see the informations in this ex-employees. You can manage your approvals from here. So all the approvals which as an admin or as a reporting manager which you receive, which may be for the attendance regulations or a leave applications or a timesheet approvals, you can manage all these approvals from this particular approvals tab here. You have the organization module tab here, which gives you the organization overview here, like all the services which has been offered in Zoho People. So you can always see all the various services or the module services which has been offered to you. You can click on one of them and directly reach that particular services for different activities. So you have this overview. You have the announcements tab where you can see all the announcement which has been raised by the organization admin from time to time, and you can click on any of the announcements and look at the details here. You have the policies tab where you can see all the policies which is basically the different organization policies or different policies which has been raised uh, by the organization from time to time and shared with an employees. So you can see all those policies here in this policy tabs here. You have an employee tree and a department tree. So employee tree will give you all the employee related informations and the reporting managers and reporting relationships here in this employee tree. Our department tree always gives you the department informations of the number of employees who are mapped to the particular departments here. So these informations are basically these tabs will be viewable to the admin, super admin also, but for an employee, if the permission is given, then they can also look at it. You have the department directory also. So you have the department listing of all the peoples who are associated with the different departments. You can look at that department details here. And also you have the birthday folks here where you can see all the details of the birthday of the people who are falling on the particular day, today or current month, and in your departments also. Apart from that, you can look at the new hires, information for the last 15 days, and also the organizational calendar if you are an admin. So this will give you a precise view of your employees' informations who have, who are on the leaves. Also, so as an admin, you can look at the employees' informations if they applied for any kind of leave or they have no holidays. It is there in that, and reported manager will see the similar information for the reportees also. Now we can move on to the next module, which is known as also the leave tracker. The leave tracker is basically a module which for managing the leaves for an employee. So it also divided into my data, teams data, and holidays. So in the leave tracker, you have a my data, which here you can see your own data for your leaves, or the for all the leave policy or leave types in terms of the leaves available to you or leaves you have consumed the leaves also, and you can see all your upcoming holidays and the leaves, future leaves which you applied, and all the approval statuses of the leaves which are mentioned here. You can see all the approval statuses of the leaves. So you can look at the statuses of your approvals from here also. Here you have an options to have the list view. You can always see the same information in the calendar look and feel also from here. So here you have an options to apply the leave also. So once you click on apply leave, you have an options to select the leave type which you want to apply the leave for and give the date range here from basically this leave date from which you want to apply the leaves here, and give the reason of leave and submit it, which will go to the reporting manager as per the workflow configured in the system, and it will get to be approved or rejected as the case may be. You have the leave balance tab where you can see all your leave availability and booked, and from here also you can apply the leaves also. You have the leave requests, so it will this leave request tab will show you all the leaves requests that you have made from time to time. So it gives you a small summary of all the leaves which has been made from your end for a particular dates and time. And you have the compensatory request where you can make the compensatory request for the work you have done for any holidays or the weekends. You can do that from by clicking add request, and then you can apply for the compensatory request. So compensatory request is a part which is consists of two parts, wherein you apply for the compensatory request uh, uh, for a particular date which you have worked on a holiday or a weekend. Then it will go for the reporting managers, and the reporting manager will then approve that. And then you have an options to avail that leave for a particular date of your choice from here. You have an option for the leave grant, which you can apply from Zoho People also. So, in the leave grant, you have the leave which is on the grant basis, and the best example is maternity and paternity leave. So, you have an options to add a request on this for the particular days you want the leave for. You have the shifts tab here, so you have your current shifts by displayed by default here, and here you can also uh, assign the shift to yourself uh, for a particular shift you want to go for the particular dates for which you want to go, and it will go to the reporting managers for the approval of those shifts. You have the weekly and a monthly view also to have the look at your shifts from this part also. So here you have the shifts here, and here you have also have an options to import the shifts. If you are an admin, you have an permissions to import the bulk data of your shifts by clicking on this template, and then you can upload that template with the filled informations and upload it here, and so it will help you in uploading the bulk data from here. You have the team's data also, where you can click on any of the team members and see the similar information of the leave availability and the leave booked by that particular specific team members of yours. And you can see all the leave or absent data, which you can convert to the leaves also. In case the employee has not marked the attendance and absent, you have an options to mark that as a leave also for that. And you can see their upcoming future and leaves and holidays for an employee also, as well as the past leaves and holidays for the employees also from here. So you have a leave balance of an employee. You can check the leave balance and booked balance for that particular specific employees. You can see the leave requests of that employees which you have made from time to time, and all the compensatory requests which has been which is there. So you can also make a compensatory request on the behalf of the employees uh, uh, on the from your own portal. This compensatory request can also be raised by the employee from their own portal, but as an admin or as a reporting manager, you can also do that. And also the leave grant options you have for the teams to do that. You have the holidays options, where you can see the list of holidays which is there by the organizations configured in the systems. So you have all the uh, holidays list viewable here for the different locations. If you're an admin or a super admin in Zoho People, then you can see all the leaves, all the holidays you have, which is configured in the system for all the locations you have. So you have the option also to add on holidays. If you have a permissions to do that as an admin, you can click on add holidays here and give the name of the holidays and date, and you can add the holidays as per your requirement or preferences here. You have the filtrations options here. You can see the holiday classifications also from here, and for this day from here you can always import the holidays in bulk from there in this through the import templates here. So you have the import template which looks similar to this particular format. So you can always add your details here and upload the files here, and you can import the bulk list of the holidays from this option also. Moving to the next module and feature, which is the time tracker, which is used for logging the times on a daily basis, a weekly basis, monthly basis, any monthly basis. So, uh, so employees have an options to log their times for the work they have done uh, on a daily basis during their working hours in an organizations. So typically an organization requires employees to have the minimum logging hours for a week or for a month, so that they can do it from here. So you can see in my data, you can log your own times on the basis, or own log your own times on the daily log, weekly log, semi-monthly and monthly logs here. And you can always log your time by selecting the project for which you have worked for, selecting the jobs for which you have worked, and then you can always have the time log on the on this particular options here, which will go as a timesheets to your reporting managers, and the timesheets can be approved. So if you click on the timesheets, then you can see the details of your time log. So timesheet is basically a small summary of your time logs, which you send it to your reporting managers after you log your time, and these timesheets gets approved by your reporting managers. So this is how the time logs and timesheet works here. So you have the projects for which you are working. So these projects are basically configured by the admin or your reporting manager. If you have your permissions to do that, you can do that. So you can see all the projects are which are mentioned shares are always there. So you can always see the project details from here. If you click on a particular project, you can see all the projects details and the project performance of that particular projects from this particular part. So these projects details, you can see you can use it while logging the times time tracker from here. So you can see that all the time tracking activities can be done from this particular place, from this projects module. You have a job scheduling. Job scheduling you can do for scheduling the job for yourself. If you want to do schedule a job for yourself for a specific day, so then for example, for a particular day, you can always have the job schedule done for a particular day in this part by clicking on these options and select a client name for which you want to do the time schedule for this. So when you schedule your job for a particular date and time for a particular job to be done, then the system will keep on reminding you for that particular job to be done, so that you can do your job for that schedule at the scheduled time. So this is the time tracker, and the same activities which you are doing for yourself. You can always click here for your reporting manager or as an admin. You can log the time for them. Also, you can create the time sheets for them also, and you can also create or have a job schedule uh, to be done for on the behalf of the employees. Also, if you want a particular employee or a reportee of yours to do a particular job on a particular date, you can also schedule that job on the behalf of the employee here. Then you have the other different modules, which is known as the attendance module here. Attendance module is basically a modules to capture and manage the attendance of an employee. So the employee can manage and mark their check-in and check-out attendance from this data. So it is also divided into my data, team's data, on requests. My data is basically in this. You have an attendance summary, so you can look your attendance summary for a particular day, and you can scroll back to the previous weeks and see your attendance and present statuses, or any leaves which has been taken by you in the past, or a weekends or a holidays, which we always seen under this particular list here. It also show you a general shift which you belongs to, and also an option to check in and check out from this particular options. So once you check in and check out, the times are recorded in the systems for your check in and check out details for a number of hours which you have worked in. So this is your attendance details. You can also see and manage your overtime data in this. So overtime data is automatically recorded in the system. So once the employee has worked uh, beyond the stipulated time frame, time period of an organizations, then the overtime hours are automatically recorded here. And these informations can be further used uh, for 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 paying your employees for the overtime hours which they have spent. So these are captured in this as an or by default and automatically it has been captured as when your employees checks out after the specific time periods. You have the previous balance, expected hours, which you are expecting employees to work, and the payable hours, paid hours, and these all informations you can look at it from here. So you can download this as a PDF or export for your personal or for your different use also. You have the regularization option also, where you can do your regularization for the attendance. So regularization means rectifying your attendance in case the employee is forgotten to check in and check out for a particular specific day, so that you can always regularize or rectify that attendance. So as an employee, you can add a request for regularizations for a day, week, month, or any of the custom dates from here. So for a day, if for a specific day, if you choose, let's say for example, for 1st of July, the employee has not marked or check in their attendance or check out, they forget to check out their attendance, they can select the date from here, and they have to select the time for which they're supposed to check in. For example, the employee has forgot to check in. So for to rectify that, you have to select that date, and then you have to select that particular time which the employee is supposed to check in. Like for example, 9 hours, and the checkout time is 1800 hours from here, which is 6 p.m. in the evening. So here I can set up this time period here like this, and I will select the reasons forget to check in and then submit these details here. So once it is submitted, it will go to the reporting manager for approvals and post. And after the approvals of the regulation request, the attendance will be rectified here in this case. So this is known as regularizations. You can also give your on-duty request if you are on duty or on-site client locations or on some office on the on-duty in an organization. So you can always raise a request for on-duty, which can be further approved by the reporting managers. You can also have your hourly permissions set up here. Hourly permissions is basically time durations in your working hours when you want your when you want us when an employee wants a break for 2 3 hours, for the person works in the organization. So if the organization have a policy of setting up or allowing the employees for certain person works to be done in that particular office timings, then you have an options. Employee has an options to have the raise a request for RD permissions to be given to them. So by clicking on add request here, the employee can select the date and time for which they are having going for their RD permission request. You have the shift schedule, so you can also assign shifts to yourself, and which can be raised to your reporting managers for approvals. So here you have the my data for attendance, and you have the team's data also. If you are a reporting managers, then you have the report. You have all the direct and indirect reportees here, so you can always see when you click on any of the employees, you can always see the attendance details of the summaries, overtime details, regularization request you can raise on the behalf of your reportees also, as well as the on duties and RD commissions also. So this is the same activities which you are going to do for your employees and view for your employees, as you can view and do for your in your case for your own data. So these are the same tabs you can see in my data also. You have the same options which you can do for yourself. So if you click on the Teams tab and click on any of your reportees here, you can see the same options here and perform the same activities. You can see and perform the regulation request on behalf of your team members also. You can also have the on-duty request. You can add a record of on-duty request also in this part, and as a record details here. Right? So this is all about the attendance part. Now let's move on to the other modules. Also, you have the very important modules, which is known as the performance modules here. So performance module is basically a module in Zoho People for managing your appraisals here. So performance appraisals. So in the performance module, you have the mirror. It will allows you to add your KRAs and goals. From here, your competencies and skills on which you are being rated for. So as an admin, you can always manage and add goals in the performance modules. In this part, the you can always add your KRAs and those added in the systems here. Uh, as well as you can tag your KRAs on the basis of the designations, department, and locations also. So before starting your performance appraisal, you have to first have the KRAs and goals set up in the system. So you have to first select the which method you want to follow in the performance volume methods in the performance appraisals systems. So for example, if you want to set up the methods, you have to go for the settings for the top right corner, then click on the performance module here. In the performance methods, you have to select a different methods which are available here. So you have to select one of them. Like KRAs and goals, you have as per your preferences, you have to select whether you want to rate your employees on the basis of KRAs or on the basis of goals, or both you want to add as an independent methods like KRAs and goals also. And also otherwise you want to have your KRA versus goals, in which you have the KRAs there and you have the goals under each KRAs there. And you can also enable the feedbacks, skill sets, competency, and summaries from here. So you have a different options to select from the payment methods as per your own organization preferences. You have the KRAs options also, where you can set up different settings for your KRAs, which involves the permissions for the reporting managers and employees to set up who can add or delete or tag or view the KRAs also, and different others settings which you can do. So these are the settings area where you can always set up your settings for a KRAs, goals, define which feedback uh, method you adopt in your organizations. You can have your skill set settings also done from here, and as well as the competency settings can be done. And you can also have the appraisal templates. You can see your appraisal templates here, which is by default, some of them are there. You can also create your appraisal templates as per your own uh, preferences here. You can customize them as per your own preferences here. So you have the appraisal review. You can do different settings for your appraisal reviews as well as, and you have the, also other options like renaming terms also, where you can rename your KRAs and goals as per your own naming conventions or naming criteria of your organization preferences. So you can name KRA as per the different names as per the organization preferences, or competencies by different names. So you can always rename them. So these are the different areas or different configuration settings which you can do it from here, right? You can always have an options to set up your approvals for different approval workflows from here. You can do different workflows approvals like KRA approvals you can set up here, and different other approvals you can set up as per your own requirements here. You can do automations also. So you can also have the automations done in which you have the notification settings. You can set up notifications, which is by default there. So your job is to only enable or disable the notifications as per the organization preferences here. And you have different workflows which you can manage, and you have your workflows, or some of them are default set up here, and you can also create your own workflows. So the default workflows may be like, for example, self appraisal form submission. When it is submitted, then you have the workflows to be triggered in that case. Different other increment letter workflows, or you have a pending appraisal review process workflows to be there. Different workflows to be configured here in this for the performance settings. You have a permissions also. So you have permission settings also for your performance module also. So you can always have the performance module administrators set up here. So you can always set up the performance module administrators different. You can set up any of your team members to be the administrator for the employees here in that case. You can always set up the record permissions to the different Zoho roles in Zoho People. So you have a different roles in that. So you can set up your edit, view, add or delete permissions for the entire forms, like self-appraisal forms are there, and a performance appraisal review form is also there. You can set up different appraisal permissions or different performance module permissions setup permissions settings from here itself. For the different roles here, you can set up you can give up field permissions also. So in the different forms you have a different field, so you want to have certain permissions set up as per the fields permissions. So which fields you want to give the permissions to view, or different permissions you want to have to edit permissions for a different fields, or you want to give certain restrict certain view or edit permission for a certain fields for a different roles for a in the performance modules. So after doing the certain settings here, you have an options to also have an options to set up the appraisal cycles also here. So you have an options to set up an appraisal cycle. So appraisal cycles are basically an option where you can add your appraisals cycles and set up your appraisal cycle as per your own as per the defined structures here. So we can have a different templates displayed here. Different templates are having a different options which has been uh, always by default mentioned here. So you can select or choose the template which suits your organization preferences. So your options will be for simple for self appraisal or manager review. You have an options for your self appraisal with the multi-rater review options also. Or if you have the you have your own self appraisal cycle to be set up, so you can create your self appraisal cycle with the different options which you can want to set up in your appraisal cycles. It has a self-appraisal, multi-rater manager reviews, or you can have a normalization process if you follow in your organization. Always enable that and set up that appraisals the normalization process here in this options. So once you have set up, you can add your appraisal cycles by clicking up here, and you can always create that appraisal cycles by giving the basic details of the appraisal cycles here, name of the appraisals, for which period you are conducting appraisals. If you want to have an additional notes or the guidelines to be set up here, you can do that from here itself. You can set up the applicability for whom this appraisal is being focused for different criteria. You can set up from here for the employees for the applicability purpose. You have the self appraisal. So what parameters and options you want to enable for an employee to rate themselves in this part and this particular options. You can set up these options from self-appraisal part. You have a multi-rater review. So what all parameters on which the multi-raters have to rate an employee, you can also set up settings from here. You have the manager review also. So you can set up the manager's review settings, rating settings from here. And from basically your rating settings can be which kind type of a ratings rating methods you want to adopt it. Like if you have this option, you want to have different methods, like you want to have a numbers method, you have to have a star ratings or a customs, you have a different text ratings also, or you can have a custom ratings also. So ratings can be from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. So you can select customs ratings and give your ratings scale, define your rating scales here, right? You can also have a module weightage given, like 80%, 20% uh, weightage divisions from here. You can have a published configuration settings here, and you can then submit and set up your appraisal cycles. So once appraisal cycle is submitted, you can release your appraisal cycles from here, and which the employees can always attend and do their appraisal from their own Zoho People portal to that. So there's an entire performance module system in Zoho People find modules. It covers the entire appraisal process, starting from setting up your the performance methods, then adding up your KRAs and goals as per different criterias, and adding up the competencies and skill sets here. And then once you have set up all your performance methods, you can always design and create your appraisal cycles from here. And once you have done that, you can release your appraisals from here. So it will cover uh, the self rating of by the employees when the employees submit their ratings and give their feedback and comments on that. And once they're submitted, it goes to the reporting managers for the review, and the reporting manager starts their review process by giving the appraisals feedbacks and the ratings on over the employees ratings here, and then they can publish the reviews from there, from the performance options here. They can click open the review, and then they can always publish the review from here, which the employee can always see from their own portals by the way of notifications which they receive it. And then after that, they can share the feedback of the appraisal process and the ratings and comments in the review process. And then the it completes the entire appraisal cycle. So all these steps and appraisal cycle is being covered by in the performance module in Zoho People 5.0. Now moving to the next module, we have the other major modules like LMS. Also, the LMS is basically a module wherein you can add different courses uh, for the employees trainings and development. Here you can add courses which can be your self-learning courses, blended courses, or e-material courses. From here you can also add your learning plans from here. uh, by this where you can have your learning plans, and you can also add different courses in the learning plans which you can publish for the employee to attend that courses. So LMS allows you to create different levels and different types of courses depending on the departments, users, or roles uh, for which you can create the courses from here and publish that courses and nominate and enroll the people in that courses. So once the courses are created, it will reach the enrolled and nominated members in their email IDs and and from their own portals they can attend and start their courses from there. So they can also start the courses from the portals, and they can complete the course at their own time, and they can always do that courses. For example, this is one of the courses which has been released from an admin, and you can see all the modules and files which has been added as per as per the courses here, and all the members which have been nominated for the by the admin or the reporting managers to attend that course. So you can see the completions and status, I mean, the completion status of the employees who have completed that course here. So, and you can also have some notes regarding this courses from here itself. So you can see the courses details from here. You can also have an options to have the post and pre-post learning assessments and test to be configured from the systems also. So LMS and Zoho Peoples allows you to configure the self-blended e-material courses for your employees to attend, and so it will help them to develop themselves and in-house and facilitate the in-house learning in the organizations as well. So this is one of the LMS module which is there. So you have the catalogs. You can prepare all the catalogs for which you want to have the courses. You want to design the courses for. You have a calendar which gives you the different courses scheduled for the date for this. As an admin, I can see that in that particular part also. So you have a different dates calendar which you can do that from here. You have a my data for which your courses can be done, and you have a teams data also where you can click on any of the teams data and see which courses they are attending and whether the courses have been complete or not completed. And you can have that you can always have that courses suggested from the same window. You can suggest the course, like you can select one of the courses from the windows here, and you can enroll them and unenroll them as a reporting manager or an admin from this particular place. So you can always suggest different courses from here and suggest the employees and enroll them for this particular courses. So you have an assessments. You can see all the assessment which has been attended by the employees. You can see the progress of that assessments from here. And you have the courses options also and assessments for the team members also. So LMS is a very important module for you to learn at your own pace, different attend different courses which has been released by the organizations from time to time. Now you have other modules, important modules like cases also. Cases is basically nothing else, a straightforward HR help desk. So typically in an organizations you have a different help desk created in an organizations for assisting employees for a different purposes like IT help desk, like travel help desk, like for employee grievances help desk. Also, you have the payroll queries help desk also. Zoho People allows you to set up all those help desks in Zoho People, so it will help the employee to raise their queries, issues, and grievances from within their own Zoho People portal instead of physically approaching those different help desks. So you have an options to create that helps desk here. You have an options to create that helps desk. So as an admin, you can always go there and you can as an in a settings area you can always create that helps desk from here. And once you have created the categories and help desk here, you have an options to raise your query as an option given ask us option from here. You can set up the priority of that query. You can set up the source of the request, subject, descriptions, and you will see the dedicated agent who has been responsible for answering those queries. So once you submit those queries, this will go to the agents and they can answer that queries, and you can see all your requests status, whether it's open, close, in progress from this particular window here. So you can see all your open queries, all your raised queries here at the particular time, whether it's escalated or it's open, and whether it's closed or not closed, right? So you have a cases management, which is help desk in the simple words in Zoho People 5.0. You have a different other modules which you can see. You have the files modules also, where the files module you as an admin, you can see in my data you have a different files which has been shared by the organizations to you. So it will be visible and appearing here. You can see the files. You can download the file as per the permissions given for the downloading the particular files. And you have the also the file which is shared specifically to you. You can see that from here, which is specifically shared for you, and which is the file which is shared for your with my role, which is the manager's role or any of the Zoho roles who have been. So all the files which have been shared similarly to your roles in an organization will be visible to you. You have the teams tab also, so you can see the department files shared with your teams. You have the reportees tab here, where you can see your direct and indirect reportees here. So you can click on any of the reportees here, you can see, and you can see what files has been shared to the employees, right? So you can see all this, files which have been specifically shared to your reportees. So reportees files, when you click on the reportees files, it will be listed here, all the files which have been shared. So in this case, you can not see the files, and if you are the also having a permissions to add the employee files, also you can have this tab in front of you, where you can click that, add the files here, give the file name, give the file access to the active employees, like all the roles you want to give. Select the employee for which to whom you want to share the particular file. Give a descriptions here, right? You want to give the acknowledgement option like no deadline, or you have to enforce the deadlines for the date, particular date, which employees have to manually acknowledge and reading the documents here. You can give the file permissions like viewing access or downloading access to you or to the employee or to the reporting managers, and to set up the notifications for the particular files shared to the feeds or the emails or both, like that. And then you can save the settings here. You have a different options, files modules also, and now you have a different options also. The very important one is the onboarding part also. So onboarding is basically an options wherein onboard an employee when the employee joins an organization's in the system. So you have a different flows of onboarding as per your organization preferences. So Zoho People, there are two types of onboardings. It is known as the candidate onboarding or and the employee onboarding. So candidate onboarding, you can set up the flow from candidate onboarding, and you have the employees onboarding. The candidate onboarding is also known as the pre-onboarding also. And when an employee has been shortlisted after an interview, and you want to onboard that employee with some additional informations about the candidate, like the person informations, the educational informations, the work informations, and different other educational informations you want to gather. So you want to have to start with the onboarding, pre-onboarding or the candidate onboarding by adding the candidate details from here. In this part, operations part, you can add invite the candidate by giving the first name, last name of the employee, email address, the location for which you are hiring an employee. From here, you can select the title for which they have been in, right? And then click on trigger onboarding and invite the candidate for onboarding. Once the candidate has been invited, then the candidate can see the onboarding uh, form there at the email IDs, and they can uh, start filling up the forms from there. Right. So you have the candidate form. This looks like that. So this is the form which the candidate will fill up when they receive a link of the candidate onboarding from here. So once the candidate fills up the form, pre-onboarding form from here, then they submits the form, and here as an admin, HR admin, you can see the completed onboarding status from here itself. So you can see the this applicant or this candidate has filled up this form of when they have submitted it. It appears like this. All the informations as an HR admin I can see, and I can see all the attachments which the candidate has made, and in this part, and I can see. And once the employee has submitted, then I have an options to convert that employee directly into the system, or can invite them for the to join the organization, and for that I will invite them for the employee onboarding part also. So here I can now, when I convert them into this inviting users, that I will enter the valid information from my side, from the organization side also, and valid email addresses and city locations also. And then we will trigger the employee onboarding, for which the employee has to fill the relevant information from their side also. But all the information which has been already filled by the candidate during the candidate onboarding is already there. The candidate do not have to fill that information again in the employee onboarding part also. So there is all the employee onboarding here. So once you have the employee on this onboarding part here, so onboarding in this part you can see the settings area. Also, you have a different options in the onboardings. Also, like you have the flow. If you click on the candidate onboarding, you have a different uh, setup options which you can do, like welcome abroad emails. You can have a profile. Uh, Option where you can set up the profile of the company and share with the candidates. You can have set up a different forms during the onboarding process, which the employee has, which you want to collect certain information regarding that. Like for example, the BGV form, the background verification forms here. You can have different documents and policies which you can set up here, which involves the offer letter here also, which you want the employee to add or accept or reject that particular part or decline uh, from the links which you shared. And you have a different checklist to be set up during the candidate onboarding. When the candidate completes the onboarding process, then you have different checklists or tasks to be set up for the different stakeholders in the organizations to complete. For example, setting up of the admin activities, setting off the iGuards of the employee, setting up some IT accessories for that. So this kind of a checklist can be saved here also. Similarly, you have the employee onboarding also flow. So you have the employee onboarding which you can set up from here. Different welcome abroad messages you can share, profile forms you can share up here. Different documents and policies which you want an employee to accept or read as an employee of the company. And You have want to introduce the team members here also. You see that different KRAs which has been already set up for that particular role of an employee is already is visible to them of as an employee during the employee onboarding process. You have the company information set up. You can set up, you can put up the employee company's URL here. You have the trainings nominated, so you can add the training and tag the courses for an employee in the induction part, what they can attend. And also you can similarly set up the checklist which is for the internal employees, stakeholders to do certain tasks when the employee is there in the onboarding process, and then you can save it from it. So this is the onboarding process which has been covered and handled by Zoho people in this. You have a different other modules in like travels to record the travel test. Travel basically the travel record of an employee. So employee can add the travel records for an employee, which can be again through the workflow rule can be triggered the reporting managers for approvals also, right? So this travel request can also be managed here, and you have different others options like employee engagements also. Here, employee engagements, you can release and raise different surveys, ENPS surveys, or a different employee surveys from here. So you can create surveys from here, which can have the you can reach the employees and from time to time, and you can always gather some feedback from the employees with surveys. Which you can. So in this module, you can always configure and raise all and release the surveys for the employees to attend. So if you can see all the ENPS survey which has been completed or the progress you can track from here. You can see the engagement surveys of that employees also and the pulse surveys also. You can always create a pulse survey from this from the very scratch and do that from here. So these are the important modules which you can see as an in the Zoho People 5.0. And in this organization modules, also you have all the organization statuses and different knowledge base. You can see that from here, organization status from here. So you have basically all the modules which are there in this Zoho People 5.0 here. We have the operations tab and the reports tab also. So operations tab is basically for the operations admin where you can do some data operations here in this particular tabs here. So when you click on the operations, you have a different modules listed here. You can click on one of the modules, for example, and you can have different activities as a data operations ma- data operations person. You can have different activities. Then you can have a leave request to be added for a particular employees on this behalf. So all the data aggregated operations activities can be done for all the modules from this particular window here. You have a reports module also where you have a standard reports mentioned here. You have your own reports. You can check your reports as an employee, which reports are relevant to you for different modules. You have the team reports. If you're a reporting manager, you can see your team or reportees reports reporting manager reporting as a reporting manager. You can see reports for different modules for your team members. And as an organization admin, or if you're an admin or super admin in an organization for Zoho People, you can see all the organization reports for all the employees from here. And you have also different reports for the organization view. So you have the analytics also. Analytics is basically an inbuilt analytics window here where you can create a different reports or a pivot table or a chart for a different modules here. So you can always have a pivot which has been created here, like pivot table or a chart you want to create. You can do that from here. For example, if I want to create a lead based report on the lead, you can create a report from here, and then you have this window opens up in this particular path, and which where you can create reports for different modules here. Like for example, if I create a report again like this. I select a report here and click on create. Then you can have an options to create a report by dragging and dropping a different, you know, fields like this. You can see that you have different fields as per the modules on the left side, and you can always